Hello, folks. Welcome, folks, to Wildcard Wednesday. Here I am in Louisiana, up the northeast, way up northeast of me. In Georgia is John and Nile with Georgia beer reviews. I'm with Louisiana flavored malt liquor reviews. And then further up interstate 85, then to 95, and then on 495 is Michael Komaroff in Brooklyn, New York.
Hello.
New York State. And then even further up 95 and then off the road a little bit is Thomas Meadow 75 with Massachusetts beer reviews.
What's up, people?
Now, we're going to tell what we've got. We may have some more people joining. We can have up to 2 more joining because of these restrictions. I have Smirnoff Smash Coconut Pineapple. So coconut, pineapple, coconut, pineapple, coconut, pineapple. You getting tired of hearing that? Okay, now it's 8% alcohol. It's a flavored malt liquor, always malt liquor. You hear me? And so it's a beer, you hear me, that I can get at Walmart, you hear me, and what you know about that. So I'm gonna pour it. It says right here, contains yellow number 5, and I think we'll all agree that it's nice to have yellow number 5 in a beer. It contains a whole lot of calories, darling. For a 5-ounce serving, it's 110 calories. Yeah, well, this is
a 5-ounce serving.
110 calories. 23.5 ounces. Oh, man. A premium malt beverage with natural flavors and certified color. So it's natural flavors. It's not artificial. And then somewhere on the, they always have to have a disclosure. It says flavored malt liquor. Okay, so now up the road to Georgia.
All right. Well, I am drinking a classic Georgia brew. This is the Sweetwater 420 Extra Pale Ale.
Oh, wow.
It is 5.7% alcohol, and I've had it many times over the years. I bought a variety pack with this, the IPA, the Hop Hash Easy IPA, and a limited release beer called Georgia Brown, which I'm excited to try. So this beer is everywhere around here. Buy it on draft, bottles, cans, you name it. And this is actually their namesake. This is Sweetwater's namesake. This is their #1 selling beer. So, and I'm going to pour it in my Sweetwater glass, make it official.
Okay, I have a Sweetwater t-shirt they gave me once. Hey, Craig, thanks for watching. Well, I want to say before we go on, Douglas Rothland's from New Jersey originally, but he's living in Virginia now. He sent me some beers today. He sent me Kostritzer, but I told him, I said, we can actually get that here. That's why, I always discourage people from sending me stuff. I got home and there was this package on my porch, and I said, what? And then he sent me a German beer. Oh, sorry. A Polish beer, which I was very excited. I'd never heard of it before. And then he sent me an IPA from Virginia from, what's the company? Devil's Backbone?
Yeah. Devil's, mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh, this is cool, to come home and see this. Okay, now up the road to Michael.
Okay, this is from a company. People have heard of Montauk Point in New York State, which is the end of Long Island. So this is there. This is let me do it straight so you can see it. This is Montauk Watermelon Session Ale.
All right.
Hey, as a reviewer.
4.9%. They don't have the IBUs on it, but I'm assuming it's going to have watermelon nose and taste. But I've tried other stuff from Montauk, never this exact beer.
Man, heck, I've only been to 3 counties of Long Island. I've been to Kings County, Queens County, and the first one you get east of that, whatever that's called. I don't know the counties. Nassau, I don't know, whatever that county is.
Nassau is the first one on Long Island, then Suffolk. Suffolk is where Montauk is.
Nassau, yeah. But I mean, I just drove around it for like.
So I am opening it.
Michael's opening it for 5 minutes. Now, the New England experience.
We got more of a. I didn't even realize I could find beers in this category you were talking about a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, in honor of Fat Tuesday, that was yesterday. We got Oscar Blues Death by King Cake.
And I didn't even buy that one.
Oh my
2020
goodness.
release.
I
It
couldn't
is
get
an American porter, but definitely when you see it, and I tried just one yesterday for the first time, it's definitely a golden blonde kind of color. So interesting. With vanilla, cinnamon, nutmeg, cacao nibs, orange peel, and pecans at 6.5%. And they make note on the website and in the little cardboard 4-pack that the plastic baby is not included.
I finished my last piece of king cake this morning. I went to Zulu yesterday and took a lot of videos and photos, which I've been posting on Facebook. I posted all the videos on YouTube and Facebook. It was pretty nice. And then I didn't stay for the whole parade because it was noon. The parade had started at 8 a.m. It was noon. Yeah, it was noon, and it was float number 16 passing me. And I was like, don't they have like 30 floats? And then somebody told me 30, they have 40. What's wrong with you? I said, even a better reason that I left. And plus the fact that they had 3 parades following. I didn't want to get home so late. So, but it was enjoyable. All right, now I'm going to talk about my beer. So, but I did go walk down Bourbon Street a little bit, and that was interesting. And then I went on Royal Street and did some beer shopping during Mardi Gras.
What you know about that? Probably know much.
And it was very successful, I might add, except for the Earthquake High Gravity that we bought. And then David and I did a duo review.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Craig is Obazam. Jeremy is here. People stealing my lingo, but that's all right because I stole it too. Everything I say, every little phrase I use, I stole them all. You know about that.
What's
I don't really. There's the Whiskey Scout. I'm not creative, y'all. I just steal.
Hey, what's tonight about?
Wildcard.
Wildcard. Next week it's gonna be pepper spice beers.
Okay, can do that. Well, I'll be out working next week, so.
Oh, a hoagie.
So.
Well, that's ice. We can't get that in Louisiana. All right, look. Let me get back to Whiskey Scout because he's gonna present something in a moment. Ooh. Blake TV ought to be on this hangout instead of talking all about it. All right. Okay. All right. Now, next Wednesday is going to be pepper spice beers that are spiced with, well, you know, peppers or pepper extract, something like that, you know. Which you should be able to find that pretty easily. Now here is the yellow beer. You say, wow, look how naturally yellow it is with a greenish tint. Yeah, with yellow number 5, thank you. It literally smells like coconut. Like what's that stuff you rub on you when you're out in the sun? The
suntan lotion, sunblock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was thinking of a particular brand.
Copper tone.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. And then there's the pineapple. There's the pineapple. So you get the coconut, then the pineapple, then the coconut, then the pineapple. And then now the under flavor. Well, there's a lot of sugar here. So if you don't like sweet things, it ain't going to work. If you like sweet stuff, and I ate king cake this morning with globs of sugar on it, so I can't say I don't like sweet. But this could work. And they have a malt underbody, but you know, it's not real flavorful in that respect because we talked about this so many times off and on air. What they do is they take a beer and they just almost like, it isn't like, but it's similar to distilling a vodka where it has no flavor, no aroma. It's just a base. And then all the flavors come from the added pineapple extract or you know, coconut oil or whatever. All right, but it is medium, high, medium, nearly heavy. Kind of a 60-40 split on dry to sweet, 60% dry, 40% sweet. At 8% alcohol, oh, people, if you drank too many of these, not only would you get very inebriated, you'd probably get very sick. Oh, and by the way, David and I did do the earthquake high gravity, the 10%, not the reprehensible 12%. And just to give you a little sneak preview, we hated it. All right. We hated it. Okay. He said, "Oh, what is this?" We thought it was funny though, in a way. All right. Now, John and Neely. So I'm very pleased with this coconut pineapple. I don't think anybody else in this group has ever tried it.
Mm-mm.
I would like to try it. It sounds. I love pina coladas. It sounds like a pina colada.
Yeah,
Pretty
it
much.
isn't.
Pineapple coconut.
Yeah, it isn't expensive really, and Smirnoff seem like they have good quality control. You know. So,
All right. So the Sweetwater 420, 5.7% alcohol, poured with about a 2-finger head, which is dissipated. Not sure what the IBUs are, but I want to say they're like 50. I remember. I don't know how accurate that is, though. It wasn't official from the website, but I'm pretty sure somewhere around 50 IBUs. It's a hoppy beer. An extra pale ale is just a fancy way to say IPA. So, all right. The aroma, getting some resinous notes with this one. Definitely more of a West Coast style. Getting some piney notes. A little bit of grapefruit. Some of the malt is coming through as well. Getting some of those toasty bread notes, but lightly toasted bread notes. And I'm almost getting like a light, like lemon zest or lemon citrus with this as well. But primary aromas are grapefruit and that resinous, that really resinous hop character. So let's get into it. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers to you.
Yep. Really resinous, hoppy, piney, grapefruit. Nice and bready in the middle of the sip. Some nice, lightly toasted white bread. The body with this is actually relatively light. Even though it is really resinous, really hoppy, bitter on the finish, the body is relatively light at 5.7%. That's pretty light for an IPA these days. It seems like everything now is 7% and up. So this drinks like a session. If you're into the really resinous IPAs, you could drink quite a few of these, throw them back pretty easily. The finish is relatively dry.
Now wait, let me stop for a second. My beer was 8%. I don't have an IBU disclosure. I'm sure it's very low. Yours is
5.7.
Yeah, and you have IBUs?
I do not. Somewhere around 50, I think.
I'm doing that for Michael's benefit because I know he likes to keep records on all this.
Right. And this is enjoyable. I've had this many times. It's even better on draft. You get it on draft just about anywhere here in the state of Georgia. Very crisp, clean, refreshing. Like I said, dry finish. Carbonation's on the medium side. This is a light-bodied extra pale ale, though. It's very easy drinking. I think that's kind of what they're going for with this. This is their namesake beer. They sell it all the time here in my area. Sweetwater also has very good distribution. I know, Ron, you can get it down in Louisiana. I know Michael's got some Sweetwater.
Yes.
Up there in New York, Eric, all you guys. So at least along the eastern United States, Sweetwater has very good distribution. This is a winner. I'll keep sipping on it and think of a rating. But if you like more West Coast style IPAs, this would be a relatively sessionable West Coast style IPA.
Nick, I have tasted that.
White Claw, what the?
Yeah, Eric, they have all these flavored seltzers now. That's one of the brands.
Yes. Yeah. I'm just wondering where White Claw came from, but we were talking about flavored alternatives.
You're going on about
Yeah.
Brewski. Sure, why not? He
Wow.
can come on if you want,
He's welcome to join anytime.
long as he behaves.
And quiets down. Quiet down, Drewski. Let other people talk.
Long as he behaves. All right.
Michael Goldborough. Hi, Joe.
Yeah, I had some rancid draft beers before. And then the manager was like, "There ain't nothing wrong with this." And I was like, "You drink it then."
Right.
Weed.
Most of the time, it's not from the keg. It's these places don't clean their lines out, their tap lines out regularly, and it's gross.
Backstreet,
it was awesome.
Billy is correct that you cannot get high from drinking beer with weed in it.
Right.
Yeah, it's the type that they're talking about. The kind you got, John, the kind the guy sent you, you're not going to get high off that.
You gotta get to Michael Coleman.
Oh well, now the one that Steve sent, it had THC in it. If it has THC in it, you can get high. But the CBD stuff and the terpenes, the hemp stuff,
they can't get high.
Right. Ron, you can. There you go. I was going to say I appreciate the spotlight, but I'm tired of
telling me what I already know. People are telling me what I already know. Okay.
Mine looks like in the glass, as you can probably see from the top of the glass, the head has kind of faded down. Still has a white, very small head now, and the lacing is actually pretty nice, and it does resettle. The beer itself is a clear yellow. I don't know if you can tell. Let's see. I'll try to turn the glass. You can see some of the bubbles rising, so the carbonation is actually pretty good. Let me give it a nose. You definitely get the watermelon on the nose. That's all you get as far as any kind of smell at all. Let me go for the taste. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, Michael.
Cheers.
Okay. There is watermelon on the taste. Unfortunately, it is artificial watermelon. And for me, that loses it a little bit because I'd like it to taste like it was really watermelon. This tastes like it's a taste that was, put into it somehow. And I don't know if it's artificial because it's a watermelon flavoring. They don't say on the side of the label how they do it, but it's a little bit too artificial for me.
Like they dissolve the Jolly Rancher in it or something?
That's what it tastes like. And I don't find that to be positive. Otherwise, it's at 4.9, very easy drinking. The carbonation itself is good. But if it's a watermelon session, you'd want the watermelon to taste good, and it really doesn't. So I will mull over it more and decide on a rating.
Okay.
You see Jerry. Coors Light mango.
Jeremy, you crazy. I've had watermelon beers quite a number of times, and I think the best one I had, we missed those people too, Craig, but I guess they're not coming back.
No.
The Amaso fats are like the Amaso gone. And zone 1 is like zone 0. Zone 1 is like zone 0. In other words, empty space. Yeah, it's sad about the Molson Coors because people get fired for being a maniac, and then they come back and shoot the place up to prove that they should have been fired because they're a maniac.
Right.
It's like they got a lot of crazy people in the world, and they always say, you think I'm crazy, that's why you fired me. It's like, exactly. And then they come back and do things. They come back and justify the determination. And I was thinking, man, I think I'd feel better at work if I had a 38 special in, concealed, but then you get in trouble with that. But although sometimes it might not be a bad idea, but I'm not advocating that.
Do we know if the shooter is an ex-employee?
Yes.
We do.
He was fired the other day. It sounded like quoting the news.
Today.
Holy crap. Whoa.
Really?
He didn't even have to mull it over. He was pretty sure he was angry enough to go in there and
do his dumb
things out.
What an idiot.
Yeah, and why did he get fired? Because he was doing a great job? I seriously doubt that. All right. Now,
yeah.
Anyway, I don't use the word shooter. I say gunman, but, I'm old-fashioned. 38 special rocking in the night.
I was going to say, that's a great band, unfortunately.
Somebody told me, you ought to bring your gun to the parade. I said, I got it in my car. All right. Now, anyway, but that's TMI. All right.
Yo, people.
Yeah, we're doing you because you have a beer and you're supposed to tell us about
What
it.
a
All right.
crazy segue. Death. But by King Cake. That's got to be a good way to go, right? King Cake. Fat Tuesday was yesterday, people.
No,
So
it'd be bad because you'd get terrible blood sugar problems and your feet would get really bad and you'd feel bad for like 25 years and then you die. So no, I don't think it would be a good way to go.
Just, like every day for 3 meals a day. Canned on 1/13/2020. Have your cake and eat it. Have your cake and drink it too. Sweet. Yes, again, vanilla, cinnamon, nutmeg, cacao nibs, orange peel, and pecans at 6.5%. It's Oscar Blues, Michael Cormero. Yeah. This is an American porter. I mean, this is one of them blonde varieties. I can't recall ever having a blonde porter or stout. So first time for one of those in the style. Almost kind of looks like an ESB kind of deal. Cool. With some moderate carbonation. It's not really the clearest beer, but it is pretty filtered. There are a little bit of particulates going on. But the smell is definitely, I'm definitely getting the nutmeg. I'm getting the cacao. I'm definitely getting a chocolatey note to it. Some of like that orange marmalade jam kind of sweetness to it. Crusty white bread, toasty white bread and Pilsner malts. I'm not really getting a bunch of cinnamon at all. It just kind of smells like a good lower ABV stout or like a porter beer. So cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Cake.
All right, Eric. I did have a pale stout once, and I did not like it.
I think Dragon's Milk's doing their white stout or something like that too.
Oh yeah, that's good stuff.
Now,
So,
Craig
yeah.
was talking to you about Cake. He said was a fun band in the 1990s. Thomas Meadow remembers, I'm sure. Now, Thomas Meadow,
Yeah, they have a popular song.
are you going the distance? Are you made for speed? Okay.
Yeah, this has the cacao nib flavor to it. Definitely getting that. Definitely getting toasty white bread. Definitely getting the spiced kind of fruit cakey element with the cinnamon and nutmeg and some of the vanilla definitely, and the pecans. It's definitely got a nutty undertone to it. Cinnamon, not really all that detectable. Definitely has that fruit jammy orange peel flavor to it, but it's not cloyingly sweet. It does have some really good sweetness. Vanilla is the first thing, followed by the spices and then the pecan. And chocolatey overall. Definitely a unique beer. It is a medium towards a light-bodied beer, but medium. It is pretty crisp. It is semi-dry, and it kind of is refreshing for what it is. It's got a big carbonation bite on it. So if this sounds interesting, try it. Death by King Cake. Nothing too earth-shattering, but it's better than average beer. And it is more of a brighter, lighter malt flavor than the dark roasted porter or stout that you typically drink. So cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to you. I was thinking about trying it, but I was like, I ain't buying a 4-pack.
If I see that, I will definitely buy it because I'm a huge fan of Death by Coconut, and that sounds like it's got a ton of good flavor in there that I would
It was
like.
$11.99 for the 4-pack. That's the other bummer. That's the big
4-pack. What was the ABV on it again, Aaron?
6.5%.
Oh, that's high.
Well, fluid ounce.
Yeah.
Let's talk about foreign extra stout with this guy. Whiskey Scout. You're muted, my good sir.
Can't hear you there.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm always scared of that.
Echo.
Yeah. Anyway, Guinness Extra Foreign Stout, 7.5%. It's pretty much available. I paid $6.99, I think it was, for the 4-pack, if I remember correct. I just bought it, and I think it was $6.99, if I remember right. Anyway, I've never had this particular one before, so that's why I bought it. I've had a lot of Guinnesses, but not this particular one. No IBUs listed, anything like that. It is a product of Ireland. It's an ale, like we should expect. And I'm not going to read the back of the bottle because I don't want it to influence what I got. So anyway, On the nose, it did pour with just a little bit of about a 1-inch head, and that dissipated fairly quickly. We do got some lacing left over, and that's because I've been drinking a little bit of it. It is dark. You cannot see through it. Hold it up to the light. So I made my notes while we're sitting here talking, just to get my head around it. Nose, first thing that hits you is chocolate, dark chocolate. From that dark chocolate, I get nice roasty malt come along with it. It's got a very welcoming roasty smell to it. There is a little dark bread, like dark wheat bread in there. I do get some dates on the nose as well. And pretty much that covers my notes pretty well on my nose. Now the palate. This is good.
Oh, it's so good.
This is good. Very balanced. You get the chocolate, of course, and the roastiness, but then the hops, I really noticed them coming through here, but it's not bitter. There's a sweetness backing this up, and it's like almost like the dried fruit sweetness you get off. When you eat a date or a fig or something like that, there's that like sugary sweetness on the outside of the dried one. It's almost like that's what's contributing to the sweetness on it, because I'm still getting those dark fruits. They're not dominant by any means. They're balanced. It all works together. The hops bitterness is just enough there that you really don't get any sense of alcohol on it. Not much at all. I like it. I think it's a very balanced, very, very great drinking stout. If I'd have known it was going to be this good, I'd have bought it a long time ago.
That is my favorite Guinness beer, and I've had the anniversary, the one that's aged in the bullet bourbon barrels. That to me is their best product.
I have to concur at this point. I really do.
I love that beer. I love that beer, and I might mention that I love that beer.
All right, give me a little more time to think on a score and go back around or whatever you need to do.
Okay. Hey, this is what I notice about hangout videos, and which is the main reason I never watch them, because people will do hangout videos, right? And they'll be like, "Oh, hey, welcome to our hangout video. It's only 6 hours long." And I'm like, okay. So then,
Yeah.
and then they'll say, "Oh, we got a lot of comments tonight." And then they'll sit there and read all the comments. I was like, wow, it's a 6-hour video, and 4.5 hours are them reading the comments, which I can clearly read. If I just look at it, I can scan through, I can like go through every comment in like 15 minutes, but they'll spend 4 hours of the 6.5 hour video reading the comments. "Oh, well, we have a comment from Puku Ka. He says, 'Hey, man, I'm going to vote for Trump again in 2020, bro.' And then we got a comment from Malignant Systems 2019 saying, 'Hey, dude, go to hell, Trump, because I don't like him, man.'" And then it goes on and on. I'm like, why am I watching this video, you know? Okay. And I think you'll all agree that I'm right on that.
Jay,
You don't have
is William Kepley waiting to come in?
Oh, in fact, I didn't notice that down there.
He's telling us. There he is.
Ta-da!
Let's give him a drum
Sorry,
roll.
William. I didn't. I can't stand it. I didn't plan it. All right.
Sabotage.
I've been in the bullpen a while, so I had to pass the time. I took a couple of shots of George Dickel corn whiskey.
Yeah. Good
I
idea.
bought a bottle this afternoon. I wanted to compare something with my mellow corn, so if I'm not welcome, I'll leave. You know, it's but
Woo! Yeah, buddy.
Jay just wasn't looking. He didn't look at
Good
the
to see you,
bullpen.
William.
I see you too.
No, what happened is when I'm doing this video, I'm not looking down there to see.
Yeah, I was just figuring up the math. It didn't look like there were 6 on there, so you know, I was just wondering.
Oh man,
That's all right.
I shouldn't do videos because people are always going to give me a hard time. All right. Nobody got time for that. Read your own comments. Thank you.
Billy, keep the comments coming.
No, Billy, it's not a matter of leaving people out. It's a matter of expediency. I don't need a 4-hour video to have 80% the person reading the comments, which I can clearly read myself. It's just like a lag, it's like, wow, it goes on and on. It's like, oh, we've got, and it's like, it's unbearable to me. It's unbearable. No, we're not leaving people out. We're posting your comments. You're there. And here's my justification and my ramification. If you wanted to be more predominant in this video, you could literally what? Y'all know what I'm going to say. Join the video. Okay.
Mr. Kepley.
Floor is yours. Yeah.
Oh, he's got a modern classic.
Yeah, he does.
I almost bought that today. I did. I almost bought that when I was buying that Guinness.
Okay, William, you got the floor,
I'll do my pour in the kitchen, as I say. Right now I'm a little bit handicapped in that regard, but I will comment a little bit about the beer beforehand. If there was a Hall of Fame for craft beer, the Sierra Nevada Pale Ale would be a first ballot nominee and inductee. It really set the stage for the craft beer movement, and you really can't overestimate the impact it had when it was introduced in 1980. At that time, there were less than 100 breweries in the United States. Now there are more than 6,000. And I think that they really got the ball rolling as far as the craft beer movement in the United States, and should be given due credit for that. And but the pale ale I have here is their flagship beer. Still probably the favorite among many. Sometimes they can have 100 different style flavors, but people always will come back to the flagship, the one that really put them on the map in the first place. This one is 5.6 ABV, 38 bitters units, and a really very straightforward beer. Just 2-row malted barley, caramel barley, malted barley, and entirely Cascade hops. That's what they chose to go with. Cascade, named after the mountain range, the Cascades, which gives you a nice balance of the citrusy, the piney, and the spicy notes. They thought that one hop could do it all. In this case, it does a very good job of balancing the hops. And so I'll pour mine and I'll drink a little bit, introduce my new rating system, modified rating system, and give a score. Back to the floor.
All right, we're gonna give our score. We're gonna give our scores, then we'll get back to William. And I remember one time. About 8 months ago, Blue Nose Beer Reviews. Harry Meadows was saying, "I'm in the basement. I'm in the basement." I never saw it. No one bothered telling me, of course. So then I think he was angry, so he never joined again. But look, believe me what I'm telling y'all. I would never not let somebody come in. I would even let Brewski come in if he wasn't acting crazy. He could join. When he did that Fandango Friday with us, he started off very good. I mean, he was like, I like this beer. It has a subtle interaction with the malts and the barley. And I was like, wow, this was really great. And then, but of course, after 45 minutes, it was not so tight. It was not so tight, not so put together. But it started off good. I'll give him that. Bumpy should have joined in with Alex, would have been an epic Wildcard Wednesday. Right. Instead of just an adequate Wildcard Wednesday, it would have been epic. And yeah, okay. You run the switchboard then.
I wish. You know what? StreamYard should let somebody help with that crap. Come on, StreamYard.
Right. I mean, I'm trying to do 20 different things at once, and people are saying, well, I mean, come on. Give me a break.
Oh,
Okay.
Black learned some weird
All
stuff on his keyboard.
I'm Buddy Rich when I fly off the handle. Now,
The bus tapes, all right.
well, let me say this about this product. It's not exactly an erudite offering, but it is from Diageo, the people who make Johnny Walker Blue Label. And what else do they make? All kind of exotic rums, and they make Crown Royal. So, okay, no big deal. No big deal. It's not a big deal. They make a flavored malt liquor. Malt liquor, always malt liquor. All right. So it's made with coconut and pineapple. And it tastes like that. I don't think you're going to go to a craft beer festival and show up with Smirnoff Ice Smash, coconut plus pineapple, and try to impress the people. But on the other hand, if you're doing a live hangout with a Wildcard Wednesday theme and you show up with it, it's fine. It's fine. All right. I wouldn't make a big deal out of it. The score I'm going to give it is I think I'm going to score it a 94.
Woo. Yeah.
And that's not the alcohol talking. It's just, I think it is a credible product. I mean, if you look at their website, it's a really insightful thing because they don't make any kind of claims, like, oh, this is so fabulous. They're just saying, hey, you want to drink something really sugary, full of alcohol, and tastes like various flavors? Try this, So I'm like, okay, I can deal with that, So it's a decent, and in fact, I shouldn't say decent. It's a most excellent flavored malt liquor. So now we're going to John and Neely, who's getting ready. He's getting antsy because he's getting ready to set up the Sweetwater festival thing.
There's no rush. We just do it when we get done with this. Speaking of Sweetwater, I like how you transition there back to me with the Sweetwater 420. This is a solid beer. I think most people on the panel and probably watching have probably had this beer at some point. It's very popular. It's a solid IPA, more along the lines of the West Coast. Like I said, if you're not really into the resinous and some of the grapefruit flavors, you might not like this, but this is about as sessionable of a West Coast IPA that you can get. And it's not like those session IPAs that are like 4.2%. It actually has some body to support the hops. It's a 93 out of 100, just getting in there to solid A range. If I was more of a West Coast IPA guy, I'd probably give it a 95 or 96. But for me personally, it's a 93, and I don't see how you can go wrong with this beer. If you like IPAs, you're probably going to like this beer. So 93 out of 100.
I agree with that. You can't go wrong with that. Billy's laughing his fabulous anatomy off. All right.
We got the dead.
Okay, to the heavy metal guy.
By coconut. No, they make that by coconut, but we're gonna die by the king cake this time. So yeah, one of them blonde looking porters, they call it. Yeah, an American porter. American porter. Definitely not cloying, but it is on the sweet side. Very vanilla, very cacao nib flavored. I am getting the nutmeg, as they say on the website, and the can. 6.5% easy and crushable beer. It is pretty refreshing for what it is. If you really like the flavors of desserts, if you like the king cake, I can imagine this being very similar to that. If you like sponge cake with vanilla ice cream and whipped cream on it, you would really like this beer. For me, it's it's a tad on the sweet side. So I think it is a very good beer, just it's not world class in my rating book, but I think it definitely deserves at least the 85 out of 100, and I would recommend trying it. The other only complaint I have is that, at least in my area, just the 4-pack of these 12-ounce cans was $11.99, which I don't think is a great price for the beer, for what you're getting out of it, but 85 is still definitely worth a recommendation in my book. So cheers to you all. Yeah.
And so it's an obvious novelty product, but
definitely.
But Mardi Gras itself is sort of like that. So oh, and by the way, I'll just jump in real fast.
Cool.
By the way, when I went to Zulu yesterday, the only thing I caught was 1 doubloon, a bag of peanuts, and a water bottle, which was convenient because right before that, I dropped the water bottle out my pocket, and the float ran over it, and the water bottle exploded. So I was thinking, now what am I going to drink? And then here comes a water bottle. I was like, okay, all right, works.
Okay, when I first tasted the artificial in the watermelon, I was leaning in the kind of like C+ area on the beer. But as I drank it, it became less artificial tasting, and somewhere in between that and real watermelon. So I raised my score to an 84, which in my rating is a B.
Yeah,
and,
mine too.
Because of its drinkability and because of, as you drink it, the watermelon taste does get better. It raised it up to a B. It's still not great. It's still not great. And I would say I'd recommend you try this if you like watermelon. If you don't like watermelon, stay away from it.
I do like it. I do like it in theory. Hey, have any of y'all tried that Founders watermelon beer, that zebra beer?
Uh-uh.
Oh, the green zebra.
Yeah.
It's a goza. Yeah.
I think I tried it a long time ago, but I can't remember if I liked it or not.
My friend David hated it, but I thought it was all right, you know.
I have not tried it, but it is a goza, and it is kind of along the lines of what I like to drink. So I would try it. It's kind of, I don't think it's a year-round beer, though. I don't think you can get it this time of year.
Jay, which was the camo beer that you really didn't like?
All of them. Brutal one I ever tried.
Wow.
Craig's looking for Topless Tuesday.
Ooh.
Well, you know, people are watching this. They're drinking more than we are. So things start to get sort of
foggy.
Kind of off track. Let's call it. Too late now, Craig. Too late now, Craig. The comment is there, baby. All right. Okay, we're gonna get now. Whiskey Scout's like, I had to sit through all of this. Okay,
We're good. I give it a 96. I really like it. It's well balanced. It tastes real good. It's easy drinking. It's just it's a pleasurable stout for 7.5%, which is kind of on the. I don't like to get much less than 7% for a stout style beer. I just don't think it's hard to class it as a stout. I don't know. I just have difficulty once it drops below that 7% mark. So, but for 7.5%, it competes with a lot of higher ABV stouts that are just as well, if not better than some, actually.
Nice.
I absolutely adore that beer, man.
I can see why. I really do. It's a dandy.
Hey, Sammy. I said Sammy.
Hello.
Hey, greetings to you and DeKalb.
Go Cubs.
Go Cup. Oh,
I got a Cubs hat. I'm sorry, people. I'm from Massachusetts. Come on.
I had a Glenfiddich somewhere.
I have a MasterCard White Sox. I have a Chicago White Sox MasterCard.
Okay.
Now, how you like that? How do you feel?
feel good about it.
Thought I had a Glenfiddich 18.
Ooh, yeah. William Kepley.
From North Carolina, we present William Kepley. Yeah, you won't see that, Sean. Not on this channel. You might see it on some others.
Sure.
This one is very quaffable at 5.6%. The caramel malts in it give it a little bit of toastiness to balance out the pale malt, the 2-row pale malts. And then you got the Cascade hops sort of to highlight the headliner of the show, coming in with the citrus. I'm picking up mostly a grapefruit like citrus, and then the balancing hops. I mean, this is a classic in my opinion. You know, it's like I said, you know, you can't overestimate the impact this has had in beer in general, the whole beer scene. And I'm thoroughly enjoying this.
Good.
I love it here. I think it's just like I would really like to see somebody make a video where they talk about what the complaint is.
Yeah, I mean, look, look at the lacing on this. I mean, it's just it's clinging like, you know, Velcro.
Yeah.
And is it time for a score?
Sure.
Okay. Last week I had my Taco Bell 4-packet system, and I was thinking probably, you know, the green packet, the Salsa Verde, was discontinued, so that sort of left a hole in the lineup. So I thought I'd bring in an outlier to make it a five-star system. I think it's really probably pretty much better. So I brought in the Arby's horsey sauce.
Ooh, wow.
Oh man, the Arby's shut down in my town.
This will be the bottom barrel, so you can say horse bleep for this one. This will be a one-star beer. And and all of the 4 Taco Bells will be elevated. They'll be 2 through 5. For the numerical score for the Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, I would have to go like a solid A of 95.
Yeah, I can't argue with that.
It's right in this, and so that would put it on my Taco Bell packet scale at around 4.5. So it's half of a fire.
All right.
There you go.
4.5 out of 5. This one is nowhere near the horsey level. This is a modern classic. So 4.5 out of 5 and 95 numerical score, which would be a solid A.
Well, damn.
Nice.
So
William, if you do you have a favorite between the big 3? The Boston Lager, the Pale Ale from Sierra Nevada, or the Anchor Steam? Do you have a favorite between the 3 of those?
I like the Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. To me, it just hits all the bullet points for what a pale ale should be. I've also had the Sweetwater Pale Ale. I like the Sierra Nevada better. I like your beer, which is basically masquerading as it's an IPA masquerading as a pale ale. I like it also. Right. But this one, it stood the test of time. For the style, I just can't really find any flaws with it. So like I say, a 4.5 out of 5 and a 95.
William,
not bad.
When I was in Raleigh with my nephew, and John knows about this, he gave me a sexual chocolate from Winston-Salem.
That's Foothills.
From Foothills in Winston-Salem.
That's very good.
And a Silent Night, which is from Kinston, North Carolina. Is that close to where you are?
That's east of Raleigh.
Okay, so
that's probably at least 150, 175 miles.
Closer to where he lives in Raleigh.
Right, in the eastern part of the state.
But this other one in Winston-Salem is closer to you.
Foothills, actually, John and Neely and myself, we visited that brewery at the day he came up here and visited. We got a private tour because it was like a 3 p.m. on a Saturday afternoon. People were there drinking outside. It was pretty outside. They had their dogs with them, and nobody seemed to want to take a tour. So he just took the two of us back. And, actually, John shot a little bit of live video, I think, of that.
I did. Yeah, I did like a quick tour of the Jeremy Vincent actually helped edit it together because I'm no good at that stuff. And it's on my channel. And then we did the sexual chocolate that Michael has. I actually got to try that on draft at the brewery. And it was really, Michael, I think you're going to be very pleased with the sexual chocolate.
I got one on draft a couple of weeks ago. My cousin took me out for an afternoon. We had a meal at Foothills at their restaurant and a flight of beers. There's 6 flights. These were not the little taster glasses. These were pretty good sized glasses. And I'm eating a corned beef sandwich and drinking the beers along with it. And the sexual chocolate was very good. And I looked outside and it was snowing outside that day we went. But I think you'll really enjoy that sexual chocolate. It's not their flagship beer is the Hopium IPA, but that is their most celebrated beer as far as ratings go.
Well, those are very good scores, y'all. And I'm trying to keep up. This tonight we've gotten more comments than ever, and it's unbelievable. I can almost not keep up. It's like we got all these people watching, and they're like, bam, 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 comments galore, you know.
You're famous, Ron. You're YouTube famous. People just can't get enough of you.
I suppose that might be true, but it's hard to keep up.
Backwoods Billy, I have access to those Massachusetts beers. Eric does too.
Oh, yeah.
Abby.
Yup.
All right.
I'm glad y'all can go.
Read my call.
He's not going to do it, Eric.
Nope. Please read that one.
He'll show it. He'll show it, but he won't read it. Oh, Jeremy, I can't. Man, that stuff's everywhere. I'm surprised you can't find the extra stout.
You'll be happy with it.
Foreign extra.
Yeah, the yellow label. It's hard to miss. It's good stuff. It really is.
And it's hard to beat the price point for what you get for that high quality of a stout. To me, it almost tastes like a barrel-aged stout. It has like some barrel-aged qualities to it.
Yeah, with the dark fruits, that's kind of what I thought too. But the hops is so well balanced in it. I didn't really notice them on the nose, but when you get in the palate, the hops and the roasted malts, they just really work. I mean, they work very well together. I was impressed. And the Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, I ain't had one of those in probably a year. And I almost bought that today. I really did. I was going through the liquor store and I was looking. I thought, well, what do I want to do with Ron's thing tonight? And I almost got it. And then I seen the extra stout, the foreign extra. I thought, well, I haven't did that yet. So I'll do that. I'm done.
Okay, yeah, I'm just.
So, Ron, what's happening? Fandango Friday said also.
Okay, y'all. So I'm bad. I'm nationwide. All right, now let's see. Fandango Friday is no go, but no, my neighbor. He's not my neighbor. He lives like 25 miles away from me. But I did go to his house yesterday after Mardi Gras. I was like, "You want to go to the parades?" No. I said, "Okay." So I said, "I'm going." And then I said to my father, "You want to go to the parades?" And he said, "I wouldn't go to the Mardi Gras parades if you paid me money to go." I said, "Okay." I said, "That's pretty extreme, you know." But anyway, I went down there and parked pretty easily and walked down there, and I left easily. It was like the whole thing was easy. And I got to go beer shopping in the middle of Mardi Gras. So people are at the parade saying, "Throw me something, mister." And I'm like, "Oh, look, they've got." But anyway, so that was fun. And then we're gonna do a Thunder and Thursday tomorrow. I think James P. Madonna got angry at me, but
he's never angry.
Never.
he got angry. He got angry because I said I was. He got angry because I told him I wasn't chatty. But anyway, but he didn't understand the comment in context really. But I think he'll join. But what's going to happen tomorrow is we're going to have to do a late afternoon Thunder and Thursday. It can't be at night. People say you just sit around on the computer all day. Wrong. And that's the reason we can't do Fandango Friday, and that's the reason we can't do Thunder and Thursday at night. But if anybody wants to join, like say around, it's probably going to be like, I don't know, about 4 o'clock Eastern time in the afternoon. We're going to do that. You know, I can understand if people can't join. That's totally.
Bugs.
Yeah, I mean, I could see why you wouldn't be able to join. You know, but that's probably what's going to happen next Friday. There's not going to be a Fandango Friday, but we might be able to do a Thunder and Thursday. Certainly won't be able to do a Monday.
Sunday will be Stout Sunday with John hosting. So
Stout Sunday, and I'm not going to be there. I just know it now. There's no way. No.
I already have my beer. I'm ready.
I've got a ton of them I could bring. Well, not a literal ton, but look, honestly, anybody can join these things. We don't exclude people.
The only question is there are only 6 that can be there. First come, first enter.
Right. So we could have to switch out or whatever. And another thing is that next Wednesday, the first Wednesday in March, we're going to do the pepper extract beer. Any kind of beer that's flavored with pepper spice.
So that includes jalapeno peppers or any peppers, right?
Yeah, jalapeno, serrano, habanero.
Because I can do the evil twin. I have one of those I can do.
Yeah, but it's not we're not talking about a beer that you personally spice with your own peppers. We're talking about
ones that you know, whatever his name is, Jeppy. He spices them in his brewery.
You could do Prairie Bombs version.
I might have another. I have to look through what I have.
I might do a michelada, spicy michelada that has jalapeno in it, like the Budweiser Picante Chilada.
Right.
Oh, right. You're right about that. Actually, you're right about it.
Yeah.
No, I mean, people have comments. Actually, that's true. I don't have a whole lot of time, you know, and so people, when I get on Facebook, they'll send me a link. I'm like, what is this? Oh, it's a long, drawn-out video about some historical topic. I'm like, oh, okay. Don't think I'm gonna watch that, but
sorry to hear about Frisky.
I appreciate this unsolicited link. Okay. Well, David and I did a blended whiskey together the other day, and that was a fiasco.
Oh.
Native Missouri, his birthday is next Wednesday.
This goes to show you can get some really unpleasant stuff for $6.49 a bottle.
What?
Was that one of the 2080 blends?
What?
Was that a 2080 blended whiskey?
Interestingly enough, it was.
So basically neutral grain spirits plus a little splash of whiskey, right? But they can still call it whiskey.
Yeah, it sounds like Canadian whiskey. Mix a little bit of prune juice in it, and you're good.
Prune juice.
This thing here was like we were looking at each other. We were like looking at each other in the backyard, like what? But it wasn't horrible. But it was certainly not something you would ever, in your wildest dreams, want to actually drink. And it's called Kentucky Bow. Kentucky
Bow. That's not to be confused with Kentucky Deluxe, Kentucky Tavern, Kentucky Dale, Kentucky Infinity. They've got a lot of those.
I've never
Heaven Hill,
seen the Infinity. I've had most of the others except for Kentucky Dale. I've not had that. I've seen it, but I just can't bring myself to buy it.
Heaven Hill has over 1,400 labels.
Seems like it, yeah.
They do actually.
Oh,
If you
yeah.
go to Louisville at their visitor center, you can go back and they have over 1,400 labels. They have
1,400.
1,400 labels of products that they produce. They don't, they would prefer you focused on their bourbons, but 44% of their profits come from vodka. They have the Deep Eddy vodka, the Burnett, but that pays the bills, which allows them then to
Keeps
produce
it
their
alive.
whiskey. But that's the solid facts of it.
Yeah.
So don't knock these companies for expanding or try to buy other. They're trying to stay in business.
Yeah, I don't knock
That's
them.
what they're doing.
Like the band Queen said, rock and roll is what pays the bills. Hey,
Yeah.
I know John and Neely and Michael and some other people got to go do a Sweetwater thing, so they're going to roll out of here and do that. I'm going to roll out of here and go fold some clothes. And Chivas Regal. Well, I bought the Mitsunara.
Hello.
Actually, I bought it twice, but that's another story. But that was kind of cool. I bet you if I went back to that store today, there wouldn't be a single bottle left.
Probably not.
You have a good night too, Ron. Oh, I was at Albertsons in Hammond, Louisiana, just Saturday afternoon, and they had a Mitsunara. It was $48.99.
That's even cheaper than I could get it.
So I'm thinking $18.99 was not a bad deal.
It was a steal. It was
Ron, Jay, drinking and sports go together.
Drinking and what?
Drinking and sports.
Oh, right.
This is 2020. It's the 35th anniversary when Larry Bird had his 60-point game in New Orleans.
Yeah.
I don't know how much you're aware of that, but in 1985, the Celtics played the Atlanta Hawks. That year, the Hawks played 12 home games at the University of New Orleans, the Lakefront Arena.
Oh, yeah, I remember that, yeah.
Ted Turner, a promoter in New Orleans, paid Ted Turner $100,000 per game. So they had 12 home games, Atlanta Hawks, in Atlanta. And 35 years ago, approaching that, Larry Bird had a 60-point game in Atlanta, in New Orleans. The players were complaining that was like a ratty gym compared to what they were used to playing in, but the show must go on. And Bird got so hot in the second half that he was calling shots as it came up court. He would say, left wing bank shot in, right wing. And toward the end of the game, he was approaching the Celtics record for points in a game, which had been set 9 days earlier by Kevin McHale, 56 points. The Bird is coming up the floor saying, in the trainer's lap. And Atlanta Hawks, one of their players jumped out to guard him, and he took a shot from the baseline right in front of the Atlanta Hawks bench. He got bumped into the trainer's lap, just as he said. The shot goes through the hoop.
Damn.
The Atlanta players start celebrating the shot like they're fans of the Celtics. Don't watch it on video. Just Google it. Larry Bird, Atlanta bench. One of the few times you'll ever see a team cheering for the opposition. It's hilarious. They're doing high fives. Eddie Johnson falls off the bench. He is so excited.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that. And I remember when they had that series in New Orleans. And it's funny that they talked about how bad the arena was, because at that time, the arena was only 2 years old.
Yeah. And Bird goes to foul line. The shot didn't count. There was a foul called on the floor before the shot. But he goes to foul and hits 2 free throws to set the Celtics record for 58 points. After the game, Mike Fratello, the coach of the Hawks, is infuriated that his own players are cheering for the Celtics. He says it's one thing to be in awe. It's another thing to cheer for the other team.
Right.
And at practice the next day, he just ran that film back and forth, showing those guys celebrating. And then he fined them and said, now we'll move on from that. That's one of the great moments in sports. a 35th anniversary of that when he scored his 60 points at an Atlanta home game in New Orleans. So,
and I think that actually helped the city get the team 17 years later.
but that was hilarious to see that. Eddie Johnson literally fell off the bench.
Craig Swenson
When
had
that shot went through John Sterling was the announcer for the Hawks. Now a Yankees baseball broadcaster. He said that's the greatest exhibition of shooting he's ever seen. Bird got hot in the second half. He had 32 points in like a 14-minute span. He was hitting shots from everywhere and calling the shots. Come out and guard me. And he would say what he's going to do. Then he would take the shot and hit it. But that's just part of the Larry Bird folklore, I think.
Yeah, I remember that. And, there was some thinking back then that they would get a team sooner than they did.
Yeah.
But they did get a team in 2002.
They got the team in Charlotte.
Right. There was some problems with ownership in Charlotte. It was
George Sheehan was doing some things that weren't too popular in the fundamentalist South of North Carolina. So they turned against him and lost the team, but eventually got a second franchise, but nobody here gives a rip about them, really.
Yeah.
And Michael Jordan is the primary owner, if I'm not mistaken, of the Charlotte Hornets.
Michael Jordan, yeah.
If
People in New Orleans
heard of him.
People in New Orleans never heard of George Shin. So when he showed up here in 2002, no one knew anything about the backstory of what was going on in North Carolina. So it was strange,
They say Shin happened here, and it wasn't received very well. But that game in Atlanta, that game in New Orleans, that night I mentioned, there were more Celtics fans there than were Atlanta Hawks fans.
Yeah, I believe that.
They basically played 12 extra road games that year. Because
Most popular. Okay, we're gonna get off of this, y'all. But the most popular baseball team in Louisiana is the Astros. Well, maybe not. But you know what the second most popular baseball team in Louisiana is?
New York Yankees.
Right, the New York Yankees.
Oh, weird.
People love the Yankees in New Orleans and Baton Rouge. Now, why this is, I do not know. But I know people that make trips. We went to see the Yankees. And I think it had something to do with television and radio that the Yankees games were always broadcast down here or something. I don't know.
I used to like the Yankees I still do. I have to still admit it. But I remember when Mr. October got up to bat, whatever his name was. He was
Reggie Jackson.
Yeah, that's right. Reggie Jackson. I thought it was. 44 was his number. That boy could hit the ball. I glued to the TV. That's probably all 16.
Well, he had a 3 home run game in the World Series.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
and in the All-Star game in 71, he hit one of the longest home runs ever hit. He hit off Doc Ellis, who was probably high at the time. That year, Doc Ellis was known to indulge in some substances. But that ball cleared Detroit Tiger Stadium. It cleared the upper roof.
Right. To the that when he hit it all the way outside into the street.
Right. He was playing for the A's, Oakland A's. And just the impact of that shot. I mean, it was incredible off of Doc Ellis of the Pirates that year.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was the high point. In the year before, in 1970, there was a very terrible All-Star game low point. But
the Ray Fosse, Johnny Bench collision at home plate.
Mm-hmm.
Well, wait, that wasn't that Pete Rose that barreled into the
Pete Rose, yeah. Ray Fosse was he never was the same player after that. It was but back then the All-Star game meant a lot, especially the National League. The league president would have a pep talk with those guys. We got to beat the American League at that time. It was important. And so they played it like a regular game. So when Fosse was blocking the plate, Rose had to barrel over him.
Yeah, people forget that part of it.
Yeah. I think Chip Feeney,
I'll say this much. You'll never see something like that in the NFL Pro Bowl.
You'll never see the NFL Pro Bowl watching that.
Yeah. defense is just a rumor in the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, rumor. All right. Well, I'm gonna end this so that Johnny Neely and Michael and whoever else is joining that can do their Sweetwater thing. So but let us go, and then folks. Oh yeah, Johnny Walker. I can't wait to open that other Johnny Walker I have. We're gonna be back next Wednesday, God willing, for pepper extract spice beers.
Ooh, yeah.
That gives you a pretty wide latitude. So if somebody tells you they can't join because they couldn't find a pepper beer, you just know they're lying. All right. Thanks. That's it. Over.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Here's everybody.
Cheers.